The Good Ride, second less every year for over 10 years. So here we are looking at the Korua Stealth 56. I rode the 63, that was just too much board last year. Rode the 56, liked it so much better. It just fit my specs. I was surprised though, because it has the same like nose width, same waist width, same tail width. Kind of like the same thing, except it was just a 163, and just lengthening that out just really didn't work for me that well. It just felt not that turny, like quick turny. It felt long, drawn out turns, and it felt like just too much board for me. This 56 made me understand why they build the Stealth and why it's made. It works much better for my specs. We rode this with Adidas Tactical ADVs. We rode this with Union Atlas, Union Strata, and Falcors. Compared this against a wide variety of boards from Korua and from others. If you're a back foot carver, you're gonna love this the most. Oh, it's pretty stiff. It's kind of on par with the Tranny Finder. Maybe.
They're all pretty stiff.
Yeah, they're all pretty stiff, but it's not too stiff. It has a healthy bow of camber, go into some early rise before the nose, and it's got some consequence to it. It's easier than old traditional camber that's just the nose and tail are sticking into the snow here. This has some early rise, so it's not as much camber, but it's definitely still like camber, you know? It's on the mostly camber side, and it's got some consequence to it. So for advanced to expert riders who really love like a back foot turn, a back foot carve, really leaning back and weighting your, on your back leg, you're gonna love this board. It's stable, it tracks well, it's a little catchy, but you can 1 foot and flat base super easy on this and really just jam down cat tracks, just like almost like you would on a camber board. The edge hold, like all of these boards, they do a great job with a non-disrupted side cut. It's just a traditional-ish side cut that grips super well and does a great job. Turn initiation, I felt this a little slower than the Dart. I felt it slower than the Tranny Finder.
But the Dart's super fast though.
Like, the Dart's just a speed demon.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an outlier in these as far as like turn initiation goes.
Yeah, it's quicker than you would think for this width. I mean, look at this sizing here. I mean,
269, is it?
You wouldn't think that this would fit. I would, size 9 boot would be able to turn this. You would think this would be more like Grant's 11, right? But look at this, just even on the tail, there's so much room here for people of all widths. And this is what blows my mind about Korua boards. They turn pretty quick for their width. And even a guy like me can ride this without being slow. And even a guy like you can ride this without toe and heel drag.
It's great.
We're both carving as hard as we want with all of these, and we're both not feeling, I'm not feeling limited when it comes to quick turn initiation, tight turns in the trees. The turning experience in carving is amazing. Like I said multiple times in this review, it's kind of a off the back foot kind of guy. That's who this is for. You can drive off the front foot too. But for us, we found like we really like that kind of leaning back and really getting into the carve that way. All of these boards just have amazing spring out of the turn. When I was riding other hybrid camber boards that carve very well, do a good job, I thought, wow, those are incredibly fun. Then I put it in the car and grab one of these Korua boards, especially the Stealth, and then you're like, whoa, that's a lot more camber than your average hybrid camber board, and you can really feel it spring out of the turn. There's more consequence, but way more spring.
If you like to carve, it's worth having as much spring as you can get out of the turns.
Yes.
That's how these boards are built.
Now speed, this thing can fucking bomb. It's stable for a 56. Felt more stable than the Dart. Right there with the Tranny Finder, and not quite there. The pencil, that 64 just has some speed, but it's fast and uneven terrain. This is really good. I mean, it's not perfect because it's kind of stiff, but it has enough give to it. It has enough dampness that makes it okay. I rode this in some uneven terrain and it just didn't destroy my life. There's a lot worse out there, but there's also a lot better. But you know,
all these boards with the standard Korua construction are exceptionally damp in my opinion.
Yeah, and you can ride these all day. You can ride them on a Saturday if you want. You're gonna love it in the morning, but as the day drifts away and gets kind of crappy and shitty, you can still get out and weave through bumps. I'd rather be on the Dart if I'm weaving through bumps, but this can weave pretty well.
Yeah.
I'd rather be on the tranny finder weaving through bumps, but this is still pretty good. Powder, check out the in-depth review. We got it tits deep. I really like this board in powder. I think I like the Dart a little better, and I like the Pencil Plus a little better. But if you want something a little more powder specific than the tranny finder, this was the call. And man, going with that 63, that thing would be a super floater.
Yeah.
I wonder how it would compare to like the Bulldozer or other boards that we haven't rid from Korua, rode from Korua's line. But it's upper tier, man. These boards, for a board with so much camber, I can't believe how effortless it floated in powder. This is just, the only other boards we felt were better were like, you know, the Pencil Plus, and then like kind of like those next level boards like the Spring Break boards and
Mind Expander.
And the Mind Expander and like the
But
Storm
these are great,
Chaser.
yeah.
They just have that excessive rocker and then a faster bass.
Some of the Geffen boards are
Yeah,
great.
I wish this bass has good glide to it. All of these red basses from Korua are no slouches, but we did find that there are some basses that are faster in the price point. This is faster for sure,
is faster,
but
not
it's
within
not in
the
the price
price
point.
point, yeah.
And I think they're just definitely upper tier in speed. It really has good glide on groomers, and you're not going to notice too much difference. But where I found this really came into play is this year we got to compare so many boards in powder, and I felt like it didn't quite keep the speed as maybe some of the best basses, like, you know, like we're talking about Gentim stick, but like companies like Jones and like Weston have these really fast basses at about the same price point. So we'd love to see a little bit faster bass, but look, it's not a deal breaker.
Still was better than most of the other boards outside of the Korua line that we tried today.
Yeah.
It was nice getting back on these. They've got a lot of glide.
Yeah, and you know,
we're splitting hairs with the glide.
We're getting into the like the up. We're kind of like bitching about like upper tier shit. You know, they're all at kind of like a certain level. But man, you know, it's like overall, this is just a fun board for that back foot rider who just really wants to go out and just lean hard off that back foot, but also get some really good float. And this 56 size is kind of manageable. It's kind of fun. This is definitely a board I could have a great life with and have a lot of fun. I personally love that feeling of that front foot drivey carve on the Dart, setting that up posy.
And the Pencil?
Yeah, and the Pencil for sure. But you know, 56 versus 56.
Yeah.
And I really liked just leaning back on the back foot with this and just really laying out a carve. But this is a great carver and a great board, and I just haven't met a Korua board I really didn't like. I think they're all just different personalities that match different riding styles. So while this might not be a favorite on our site, it could be your favorite.
Easily,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great board. All these boards are great.
Yeah.